There's a New York police captain named Peter Rose who said he was not too worried about a 62% increase in rapes in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, because most of the rapes weren't committed by strangers. Here is a quote from Captain Peter Rose. Every rape should be investigated. I wish we could do more. It really becomes a balancing act for the investigators. Some of them were Tinder, some of them were hookup sites, some of them were actually coworkers. It's not a trend that we're worried about because out of 13 sex attacks, only 2 were true stranger rapes. If there's a true stranger rape, a random guy picks up a stranger off the street, those are the troubling ones. That person has like no moral standards. Now, some people say there's no such thing as marital or in a relationship rape, that the concept doesn't compute. The law doesn't agree. Let's put that aside for a second, since that's not most people's belief. The reality is that most rape is current or former partners or acquaintances that are known to the victims. According to a 2012 report from the National Centers for Disease Control, only around 14% of rapes are committed by strangers. So, of course, the NYPD went into damage control mode. They apologized for what Peter Rose said. They said that they take all complaints of rape and sexual assault seriously, no matter who the alleged perpetrator is, et cetera, et cetera. But this does expose what we already knew to be an underlying attitude about rape and sexual assault. By the way, of the 13 rapes in Greenpoint last year, 2 of the 13 were strangers. 10 of the 13 remain unsolved. So think about those numbers for a second. Now, some people will hear us talking about this, Pat, and they'll say, David, what the police officer is saying is that you can talk about basic safety measures that people can take to not be as much at risk for stranger rape, right? You don't want to be alone in certain places at certain times of day. You want to be generally aware when you're taking public transit, for example. So I understand what's being said, but there's another way to express that without saying that an increase in non-stranger rape isn't concerning.
There's certainly a different strategy in terms of dealing with rapes amongst strangers and within groups of people that know each other.
Yeah.
And they have to be treated differently, I would say. But I think he really just worded this inarticulately.
There's a case to be made. If we are playing the what is more shocking and traumatic game, which isn't a game I care to play, but it seems Captain Peter Rose maybe was playing it, you could argue that rape or sexual assault by people you know is in a sense more traumatic insofar as even among people you know, you may not be safe. And that is a horrible, horrible thing to feel. From a police perspective, both of them are just as awful. Someone was raped and a terrible crime was committed. In the first case, the victim can be put into maybe protective custody. You can locate the assailant and arrest them quickly. In the second case, from a police perspective, you've got maybe a rapist on the loose, potentially a serial rapist on the loose until you capture them. But I agree with Pat. Inarticulately said is the most charitable way to approach this. Thanks for watching this video. Before you watch the next one, remember, we're raising money to expand the David Pakman Show Big League, as well as expand progressive activism. Go to davidpakman.com/donate. Donations of any size are much appreciated.